know already, and I did mine on the stages of prenatal development. So first of all, I wanted all of you to give you a round of applause for being the fastest sperm cell out of millions of others in order to have been fertilized and sitting here today. Yay. Alrighty. So
There's a mouse over there that you can use.
oh, okay. Perfect. So this morning I wanted to talk to you guys about the main stages of the prenatal process. Prenatal development is the process in which a human fetus is constructed during the period from fertilization to delivery. This process lasts for about 38 to 40 weeks after conception. Throughout these 9 months, a baby develops from a bunch of cells that grow into an actual infant. First, I will be explaining the processes of the germinal stage, the embryonic stage, and the fetal stage. So first, there's the germinal stage right up here, and these are the two brand new fetuses. They mark the very beginning of the pregnancy. This stage lasts for about 2 weeks, where the sperm and the egg combine, creating a zygote, which is the newly fertilized egg. The zygote begins developing all the major organs such as eyelids, the spinal column, and even the hands, feet, fingernails, and toes. The nervous system, respiratory system, and the digestive system all begin to form as well. I picked out a clip from one of my favorite movies. Do I have to? Juno, and there's just a little clip on when the Asian girl talks to Juno about the fingernails.
Your baby probably has a beating heart, you know. It can feel pain. And it has fingernails. Fingernails? Really?
I just wanted to put that part because it's just like crazy to me how just the beginning of the prenatal process, there can already be fingernails, and I remember that from one of my favorite movies. So now that you have an idea on the beginning process, I wanted to move over to the second stage, which is called the embryonic stage. This is the stage where the zygote experiences rapid growth. From week 3 to week 9, the amniotic sac, placenta, and the umbilical cord, all shown in this picture, they are fully developed. Not only that, but the important organs such as the heart, lungs, and brain rapidly develop as well. The bones of the baby become even stronger than they were before during this stage, and their hands are even able to make a fist. Around this stage, the baby begins slowly moving around in the mother's stomach, and they are able to hear for the first time. Around this stage, sadly, the embryonic stage is a very sensitive stage for the embryo, where this is where most of the birth defects happen, such as blindness and deafness occur, and even miscarriages are more likely to happen within these first 3 months of the pregnancy. And then up there, the fingers, and down here, that's the amniotic sac. So now, as for the third stage, the fetal stage is the final and main stage of the prenatal process. This is the stage where the 2-inch embryo officially becomes a fetus. The organs and structures formed in the amniotic stage will continue to grow and become stronger in this fetal stage, causing the mother's stomach to enlarge weeks by weeks, months by months. Additionally, in this stage, the mother will be able to feel the baby kick inside of her womb. And this is the time of development when the fetus typically starts to become more active. For instance, the baby is able to swallow, squint their eyes, and move their tongue. wildly hiccups aren't uncommon either for this stage of the fetus. By 20 weeks, the fetus should be about 1 pound and also begins to protect the skin of and also begins to recognize the mother's voice, and they're also recognized to light that shines on the stomach. Also, the baby's skin is covered in this waxy, like glue type, like gelish stuff called the vernix, and it protects the baby's skin while it's in the stomach, and also when they are born, that is what is on them before they wash them. Also, between the 8 and 9 months of the fetus, the lungs will fully develop within that time frame and prepare until it is ready for to enter the world. Alrighty. So today I have highlighted and illustrated to you the 3 main stages of the prenatal process and everything that goes on between fertilization and the delivery. As you can see, there are many different steps that a mother has to go through before even having a baby as it grows into a tiny little thing, into a beautiful part of this life. Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
On the first slide, was that a nail?
Oh yeah, that was a nail, I think. Yeah.
What's that? Oh, if you don't want to do it, if you think it would be better for him to keep time, we could trade the cards. Would you like to keep the time?
Yeah, I could do it.
They want to arm wrestle for the job over
It's too
there,
much
so.
for you.
Well, she's over here on the side, and she thought maybe it would be more appropriate. On the other hand, that does mean that somebody's going to have to shout out the time to me at the end of each speech.
What?
Did I do that?
I didn't bring my chronometer today.
Just tell her.
So when we're done, I'm going to say, okay, how much time did they use?
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you.
I got an iPhone. Are you tripping? Oh, sure.
Jenny, what did you think?
I thought the beginning was pretty good when she started off, like, kind of including the audience and telling us a fun fact that we kind of already knew, but, like, it just, I don't know. So I thought she had good points, and she did her research and had information, but she did read a lot, and she also looked at the slide a lot, like she was presenting the slide instead of doing her own speech, like you said that we weren't supposed to do. Oh, that's not the proof. But it was, and then I think the blank slides in between it would have helped too, because when she was like ending, it just said thank you, so I was like, okay, well, she's done, and then she like kept talking, so, and then when she got to her first part, like the first slide, like that was already there for a while, and then she like got into it. So I think the blank slides would have helped, but I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, you were having a little bit of trouble at the beginning with the tech stuff, but you got that worked out, and I didn't think that it was problematic once you got started. The recommendation about the blank slides is probably a good one. I do have to agree that you are reading a lot more than you want, and sometimes you do deliver a little bit more to the screen. Don't forget that we're really the audience and not the page in front of you. And I think it would be a good idea, for instance, to put the information on the index cards so they're not as big when they're in front of you. Have just 2 or 3 cards so that you're not tempted to play with them and keep shuffling through them, and keep it simple, because let's face it, you seem to know the information pretty well. I didn't hear any source citations on the information. There were a couple of pieces of information that came up that I thought were kind of interesting. I said, well, how do they know that? For instance, that the baby can see a light shine through a mother's stomach. I'm like, did somebody do research on this? You must have read about this someplace. So where'd that information come from? And that would have been a good place to have some of that source citation. I thought it was very well organized and easy to follow. The slides each organize and remind us what point we're at in the process. It's a topical, chronological method of organization, so very easy to follow. I thought your transition between the first and the second point was very smooth, not quite as smooth on the second point. And then on the internal transitions on the individual points, especially on that third section, there was a place where the transitions were not very good. It was also, and that sounds a little bit awkward. So you need to think about maybe a more graceful way of getting through those sorts of statements. I think you've got a good humorous joke at the beginning to get the audience's attention, but you don't start with that. You start with, a personal greeting, an identification of the topic, and then you get to your attention device. But I think you ought to start off and say, okay, I want all of you to pat yourself on the back because right now, you represent the fastest sperm in the cycle here, and you managed to succeed. But let me tell you how you got to that point. That's the way I think you need to introduce it. You kind of got that a little bit backwards there. All right, thank you.